hey guys, I purchased something recently that I should have gotten a long time ago. I'm sure anybody who's looked for tire changers on YouTube has seen one of these things before. Your standard Harbor Freight tire changer with the motorcycle attachment piece, so you can do motorcycle tires. I have a lot of old tires and wheels that I need to break down, and you know, it's a pain in the butt doing them all with tire irons, especially when you've got, you know, really old rubber that's hard and you know, it just doesn't move. It's not easy to move with just a regular tire iron. And I'll also give you a hint as to another reason I bought this, and that's sitting over here. This beautiful brand new white wall tire. Should give you some indication of what that's all about. And I'll cover that in the next video. But if you know anything about these tire changers, you know that there's a couple modifications that you have to make with them. And one is with the jaws that hold the rim, and I'll also show that in the next video. But in this video, I'll show you the modification you need to make to the bar that comes with it. And this is the standard bar here. You see, that's what they call the mount head. And on this side, you've got what they call the demount head. From what I understand and what I've seen of these things, it's fine for car tires like steel rims or something where you're not worried about scratching up your tires. But as you can see, there's no protection on here for like aluminum rims or anything like that. Typical Harbor Freight craftsmanship. And but hey, for what you pay for the machine, you can afford to you know, purchase a few items that you need to make the machine work better. So I don't like to purchase anything, so I like to make the stuff I need for it. And this is my bar that I made. That's the mounting head, and come down here, and that's the demount head. And this is based on the Mojolever that are sold. I think they're about $130. You can get those. This one's probably a little heavier than a Mojolever, and it's made out of 1-inch ID Schedule 40 pipe. So stay with me, and I'll show you how I made it. And there's no measurements here or anything, because I just kind of did it by eye of what I've seen of these things before, both online and I've seen one in person. And also the bearing idea here came from 65 Ford. If you've ever watched his videos, he's been doing videos for a while. And I'll dismount a tire, and in the next video we'll put one on.
This hour, U.S. stocks are mixed with the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 88 points since the open. It's at 26,290. The Nasdaq has fallen 16.
Largest drug companies were unsealed last month due to a lawsuit won by the Washington Post and the Charleston, West Virginia Gazette Mail.
Alright, so let's put this together. As you can see, the part I did in the lathe, I've welded on into the pipe. So there's over an inch, probably almost 2 inches into the pipe to give me strength from the transition. Got a piece of grade, I think this is grade 5 threaded rod. I'm going to screw in. It's tight. The head of this thing is Delrin, and as you'll notice, I flattened the two edges because it has to go between the stretched out tire and the edge of the rim to get in, and then you rotate it so that you got a little bit of lip on there to grab onto the inner side of the tire. That goes onto here, and the way I drilled this was I drilled it so it bottoms out on here and at this shoulder. That goes on there like that. So if you saw that terrible little piece of boring I was doing there at the end where the piece of Delrin was actually moving, all I was doing there was insetting this head a little bit so that the nut was inset. Just thought that would be better than the nut completely sticking out. Tighten that down, and that's good to go. Now this piece of Delrin is about 7 inches long, it looks like, altogether, and the taper is about 2 inches long. The head's about a 1/2 inch long, and the whole thing is an inch. The whole bar is about 3 feet. On the other side, it's just a piece of angle iron with a bolt on it. Now, I think I need to move this bolt closer to the edge. I got this idea of using the bearings from I said 65 Ford YouTuber, and I think that he mostly does car tires and they need this extra space here, but on the tires I'm using, I think I need these bearings to be all the way to the edge. As you can see, these bearings don't fit perfectly on this. It doesn't really matter, they're just there to roll a little bit. These are used bearings anyway. Just using that block washer as a spacer, and putting a nut on just to hold them on. Again, it doesn't even really have to be all that tight. It's just to hold it on there. Make sure they still roll. Kind of had to get creative to put on this plate. If I was going to do this again, I'd make the plate longer so that I could actually just weld it straight to the rod and not have to make this little cutout in here and whatnot. But it works. It's definitely going to be strong enough for motorcycle tires. I'm going to leave it like this until I do the Harley tire and see if it works on the Harley tire. It did work on the little tire. It just it didn't work right. So we'll get that worked out. On the other side, just used a 1-inch flat bar of Delrin and did basically a 1/4 inch, and this is the piece that rides on the actual rim. So this will ride on the rim and it won't scratch the rim. And then I just got 2 screws inset in to hold it in. But that's basically it. Alright, so let's see if we can get it in there. I'm gonna just get under there, because this tire is quite a stiff old tire. I'm gonna get it in there. Get it worked up under the rim of the tire. There we go. Bend it back like that. Take our center post, get it on the right side. And once I get that under the rim of the tire, I'm just going to spray a little bit of lubrication on there. And pull it off just like that. I could go the rest of the way around, but don't really need to. The rest of the way you can just kind of pull it up. And once you get that far, if you got a tube in there, you can pull your tube out. Pull your tire up so it's in the middle of the rim. Get your bar. Again, same head. And we're going to get under the bottom of it. Like that. Same deal, get on the right side of the bar. And pull. And that's all there is to it. Now this was a pretty stiff tire, and it came off fairly easy. Now it's a small tire, so that makes a difference. So far I've taken about 4 off of this thing, and it's done really well. The mount head basically does the reverse of what this head does. Instead of pulling it up, it tucks it in. And like I said, we'll show that next time. So join me next time and I'll tell you the kind of funny story of how I got a flat going down the road on my Harley. I'll do a complete tire change on that, as well as balancing the wheel, just quick, dirty home balancing, nothing special. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.